ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Bright and early today, welcome to Chelsea News. Lots to talk about. Apparently, we'd signed a midfielder. Fabrizio Romano has since come out and said it's fake news. Timo Werner could be off to Manchester United, which is fun. Isn't that fun? I actually do quite like Timo. What a character. What a guy. But yeah, I do not feel threatened at all by him bowling up at Old Trafford. And Matt Law has written on the Telegraph about January transfer business, for we are about to enter the festive month of December, where we will be running up to the January transfer window, trying to figure out Wagwan. So, thanks for stopping by with me today. Pour yourself a drink, get comfortable, sit back, kick your feet up, like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get into it. First of all, there's the young midfielder from Corinthians we've been linked with for a while, Gabrielle Moscardo. There was a news story circulating yesterday that Chelsea had signed the young Brazilian central defensive midfielder. And this was coming from Crack Neto, big Twitter account, 3.8 million followers. Look, we know Chelsea is interested in this guy. Fabrizio Romano has come out and cleared things up for us on a video a couple of hours later yesterday, explaining how Chelsea are interested in him. It will be a record sale for Corinthians, I think, at 25 million euro, or 25 million pounds, maybe a little bit more than euros. But regardless, that's interesting to hear. That will be a record sale for them. I wonder how much. Anyway, yeah. Point being, Chelsea are interested in him. I know what many of you will be thinking. There'll be a big sigh, a collective sigh of frustration. Here we ruddy go again. Another 18-year-old for a lot of money. That, where's this guy going to go? Is he going to go off to Strasbourg? Is this, are we safe in financial fair play? It is frustrating because we got touched up 4-1 last time we played football. Now, it is Project 2030. Firstly, it's the fact how people are saying this deal is done is apparently fake news. Chelsea will try and sign him. The player will be sold in January, so in the coming weeks. And there is probably a strong chance he ends up at Chelsea, maybe. But many of you will be thinking, why are we doing this? Like, do we, A, have the money to be spending, tens of millions again on more teenagers? But this is Chelsea's plan, and this has been Chelsea's plan for a while, and they think this is a really good idea. And it does seem like they're trying to do it now rather than later. Like, this is part of the Chelsea business model. I don't think we'll every season be buying 18-year-old South Americans for 25, 30 million euros. But this is the plan now, and I don't know if it's necessarily to do with getting them into the Chelsea first team, because we have a first team. We've got midfielders. We've got Caicedo, Fernandes, Ugachukwu. Will he make it? Will he not make it? I mean, he still cost a lot of money. Conor Gallagher, Cesare Casadei, Carney Chukwuemeka, Andre Santos, who's not having a great time at all at Forest, and there's a chance he could be recalled in January. Where are all these players going to fit? Of course, Moscardo, the player in question, is a CDM, and maybe you could think, well, if you don't know about Ugachukwu and you feel like we really need another CDM in the midfield to sort of play instead of Caicedo, maybe people can make a case for him. But ultimately, what it is I think there's a degree of this that we the people, the football fans and Chelsea fans is more aptly, don't necessarily know their incentive. We know there's a Project 2030. We know they want to hoover up the talent now and just have it. And I guess, and the Chelsea owners have been labelled money people. Like, they're not stupid, they're not naive, they're not doing what Everton have done. Chelsea are under investigation, but it's for the Roman Abramovich era, and we may get, sanctioned. I got that word. We might get, punished and get a penalty, a points deduction penalty. That might happen, but that doesn't represent these owners. These owners self-reported that, as we know. They want to have a clean slate, and I guess they believe they're doing something here that's a little bit in their favour. Like, they've had all these, like, you know, international, global money sports experts come in, look at Chelsea, look at the Premier League, and say, right, do this now. You've got a little bit of money, you won't get done for FFP for what we're doing. You know, sell these players, sell your Mounts, Chalobahs, Kovacic's, Havertz's, Lewis Hall's, a load of money in the bank, a load of money that's not pure profit, and then just buy all these youngsters now, do Project 2030, and actually that will get you ahead for the next decade in terms of how we're doing business. That is the play. The amortized contracts, the young players, you know, get them now, and we will be giving ourselves a head start, theoretically. Now, that might work, it might not. I mean, and when I say it might not, because regardless to all this long-term planning, you still need to freaking win football matches to keep your existence. You know, to keep Chelsea relevant and a good team and taken seriously, essentially. And us as fans, that's always going to be our priority. As much as someone from Chelsea could sit me down, you down, and be like, look, guys, we've got an edge here and we've got an opportunity to do this, and there's a reason why we're doing it, and that's why we've got to keep going, and that's why we've got to sign Gabrielle Moscardo from Corinthians, because this is smart money right now, what we're doing. Then you'd be like, okay, great, fine, my club's doing something that they believe is intelligent and keeping us safe long term. But, you know, while we're watching freaking Thiago Silva fall over the ball and Reece James get sent off, it's very, very hard to care. But that's just how football works. Anyway, Moscardo, the done deal is fake news, but he might still turn up at Chelsea. Before you read Matt Law's article, I did want to reference Timo Werner, because I really like Timo Werner. I mean, I don't. If he said to me, "Do you want him back in this Chelsea side?" I'd go, "No." And there's no disrespect to him. He scored a few goals, scored some big goals. Real Madrid. He loves scoring against Real Madrid for us. He was such a hard worker. He'd never stop running, which, you know, there's something to be said for that. You know, the Gallagher paradox. People love, you know, hard workers. People love a trier. And he was just a silly, fun dude that everyone seems to like. I'm just going to sip my coffee real quick. Delicious. So yeah, it'll be funny if he turns up to Manchester United. It'll be a January transfer. He's not happy at RB Leipzig. How long has he been there? 18 months, I guess, since his return. So he's not happy with how things are going. Obviously, he speaks fluent English. He probably felt like he wasn't going to play at Chelsea, but will he get play at Man United? The thing is with Man United, they will just pay him so much money, and he knows the Premier League. He speaks English. He's probably got quite a good relationship with Mason Mount, and, you know, he knows he could just hang out with Mount in Manchester, and, you know, it will be fine. And there'll be other Germans knocking about. How many Germans are in their Manchester now? Because I'm just thinking City, but Gundogan and Sane's gone now. There's got to be some. Man United and Man City. I don't know if there's any Germans. Comment down below if there's any Germans. Still, I reckon they'd say, look, we'll pay you £275,000 a week. We'll give you a 5-year contract. You know, bring your girlfriend. And also, I'm going to be very careful here, but there is a speculation that he left Chelsea for not just sporting reasons. So maybe he likes the Premier League, certainly likes the Premier League wages. Anyway, Timo Werner at Man United could be fun. No? Right then, Matty Law of The Telegraph has written about Chelsea's transfer plans. Yes, I think we all get sort of twitchy reflexes when we hear Chelsea transfers now. We're probably like, oh, just had enough. You know, I said, like, in recent videos, I've had that sort of, you know, those mechanisms of my brain that release dopamine. I've been exhausted and, you know, mutilated from so many transfers, and then just sadness of Chelsea losses. But, you know what happens? January comes around and we're like, hot damn, there's a link and I'm excited. Let's see what Matt's writing. Chelsea are planning to significantly streamline their January transfer business in a bid to avoid the problem that former head coach Graham Potter was handed last season. We forget that last January was absolutely insane. And that was it must have massively unsettled the team. Telegraph Sport understands Chelsea are looking at making 2 or 3 first-team signings in the winter transfer window to boost Pochettino's squad. To be honest, like 1 or 2 is average for a top 4 club, top 6 club. big six club, is average. So if you make 3, you're probably over the odds anyway. But like just last season was so mental. But the club want to offset any signings with at least the same amount of departures, so Pochettino's squad does not grow out of control. Trevor Chalobah, and we'll imagine Trev's at the top of the list here, who was a summer target of Bayern Munich, is expected to be sold. Yeah, I think he's the most cut and dry. While Chelsea will again listen to offers for left back, and I put left back in inverted commas here, Ian Maatsen, who turned down a move to Burnley during the summer. Well, if Burnley come back in for him, even though he hasn't got the minutes, Maatsen, I have a little inkling that he's not going to want to go to Burnley, because they are getting slam dunked back down into the second division, I tell you. So, Malang Sarr. Yeah, pour one out for Malang Sarr's Chelsea career. Remains up for sale. I mean, surely if we sell Malang Sarr, we signed him on a free anyway, so it's cash money, right? I mean, granted he's on 100k a week, and the clubs that you'd be selling him to might not want to pay him that, so it puts you in a position. While depending on incoming business, the likes of brace yourselves. The likes of striker Armando Broja and winger Noni Madueke could consider their immediate futures. I don't know, man. Maybe more Madueke than Broja under Pochettino. I think many Chelsea fans would be sad to see both of those guys go. There remains doubt over the long-term future of Conor Gallagher. Well, they absolutely shouldn't do. I know he dropped a stinker last game out, but everyone did. Although it's thought Pochettino would be against considering January bids for him, and he wants the player to agree a new contract, and I do too. Especially if anything, to protect an asset that's worth so much money. But, Conor Gallagher's numbers are very, very good. Chelsea remained coy with their plans for Gallagher, despite the player making it clear he wants to sign a deal. He does. He's Chelsea. His family's Chelsea. He wants to stay at Chelsea. In terms of positions, Chelsea will look at strengthening. It's a top-class striker, and it remains a priority, although the club will have to drastically alter their recent approach over wages to land Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney, while defensive reinforcements could be considered. Yeah, this is the big thing, isn't it? I mean, to be honest, neither Toney or Osimhen, because Osimhen's coming from Napoli and Toney's coming from Brentford, it's not like they're going to demand Real Madrid, Manchester United, Man City money, but they are going to at least maybe want to double their wages, and that still breaks Chelsea's current wage structure when we're paying a lot less to players at the moment. We've spoken about Osimhen. There was a report yesterday or the day before that he's Chelsea's top target, and Koulibaly, we're going to try and use the Koulibaly links to try and sign him. Excuse me. We'll see what happens there. Chelsea signed 6 players who immediately joined the first team squad and sold only one first team player, Jorginho, in January last year, which put Potter in a impossible position. Yeah, couldn't flipendo himself out of that one. Does the Harry Potter jokes still land? I'm not so sure they do. That left Potter with a horribly bloated squad of 31, meaning that players had to change in corridors and sit on the floor because the changing rooms at the club's Cobham ground were not big enough. I mean, yeah, that is an absolute ruddy farce. Players sitting in the corridor into the changing room. It's maybe Chelsea Football Club, for God's sake. Terrible scenes. I'd love to speak to Potter about what happened at Chelsea. Obviously, it's probably still too fresh, but he's he's not a Chelsea manager in persona. I learned that the hard way. But he's still a really personable, nice guy, and I reckon sitting down with him would be fascinating. He'd just hopefully be honest and tell you what happened. One day if I can get a big scoop. Yeah, and interviews Graham Potter. I'd love to interview Tuchel as well. I mean, Lampard, you don't need to because he goes on podcasts and just tells you everything anyway, which is great. I'm not taking I'm not slating that. I love it. I love the insight. But I'd just love to, probably more Tuchel than Potter, because we kind of knew what happened with Potter. But Tuchel, there's just so much veiled mystery, and he's such an assertive character that even if he doesn't tell you about, the alleged controversy that happened behind the scenes, he'd just tell you about the players and his ideas and, so Tuchel, what would you have done with Conor Gallagher? What do you think of him and who did you try and bring? And are you disappointed that we didn't keep Aubameyang? And do you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going off on a crazy tangent here, but yeah. Potter had to leave senior players such as Aubameyang and January signing Badiashile out of his Champions League squad. Wild. He ultimately paid the price for Chelsea's chaotic business, being sacked in April. Of course, Frank Lampard came in and experienced the same issues, but also Frank Lampard experienced what ultimately was the profound lack of fitness from these footballers. Chelsea embarked on another huge overhaul of the squad in the summer, with 8 first-team players arriving and a total of 16 who had been part of the last season's first-team squad leaving. Wow. I mean, Zakaria and... was it Sal? No, Sal was gone. Zakaria. There was another loan. Oh, Joao Felix, of course. Yeah, loads of players left. According to Chelsea's website, Pochettino has a first-team squad of 30 players. Already, that's too many. And the club do not want to finish the January transfer window with an even larger group. Pochettino will also want to avoid more big changes as he tries to develop a culture and spirit within the squad that has shown signs of growth at times this season, but was badly lacking, and in the disappointing defeat, of course, at Newcastle. Yeah, lacking, disappointing, petulant, childish, just generally shit. Chelsea co-owner Bedadik Bali played an extremely active role in the club's January and summer transfer business alongside co-sporting directors Winlat Stanley and Stewart. It remains to be seen whether that's the case again, with Pochettino making it clear that he would like a greater influence on decisions from January onwards. That's interesting. Yeah, super interesting that Pochettino said, look, now get me involved. Give me the wheel, bro. I'm taking over, you know. I'm the captain now, kind of vibes. Yeah, interesting as well. Of course, Bedadik Bali really getting involved with the deals, but he's the money man. He's the representative of Clear Lake Capital. This, was it 65% ownership of Chelsea? They're the ones that put the investment in. He's the representative of Clear Lake. That's when the money is, baby girl. Todd originally got involved, then Todd stepped back, should I say, as sporting director. Now, Bedad isn't sporting director. We've got 2 of those guys, but he is money man, and he'll come in and throw his weight around and negotiate all night for Mudryk with Shakhtar to get the deal over the line and stuff like that. And you feel like he'll probably be doing the same here, but also letting Pochettino make his decisions. Wow, interesting to hear about the plans though. Of course, keep it locked here to Football Therapy as the stories develop. We will react to them. I'll react to them, and I'll, as always, put it out to you guys. I love your conversations and comments down below, so keep those going. Thank you for liking this video, and you are welcome to subscribe if you want to. But take care of yourselves. Keep it locked to the channel, and we will keep you covered over the festive period. Peace.